tell you when there's a clock, I'll introduce you, we'll get started. Time goes quickly, so don't wait for me to ask you questions. If there's something that's burning that you want to tell me about, you can feel free to go for it. You can talk and talk and talk, and I'll interrupt if I have to, but you don't have to wait to be asked. Okay. You ready? About 5 seconds? And remember to smile. Pretend you're enjoying yourself. It's time for some security, and with me is an expert in the field because he works for a company that's all they do. Is Glenn Thompson. Good to see you.
Hello.
You've got a very interesting thing here, but this is really cool. What is it?
Well, what we're looking at today is the stop point.
Okay.
Now, there's a number of uses for the stop point, but primarily it's a security product which is designed to stop somebody being able to force their way through your front door.
So this is like the chains or the locks or the kind of bars that you put across, which take a lot of installation and a bit fiddly.
Well, the main thing is about something such as the chain which you mentioned is that really it's offering peace of mind, but is there actually a security level that's offering? Probably not. What the stop point's actually doing is providing a very high level of resistance to somebody who tried to force their way into your property.
Now, how does it work? How do we install it?
Well, it's very simple to install. There are 4 screws which fits the units, the stop point, to the very bottom of the door. Now, when you open the door, what you would do is apply a small amount of pressure to the rear of the unit here, and what that would do is actually force the profiled edge between the bottom of the door and the floor.
So that's like a very special shaped wedge.
That's exactly right. It's a toughened steel, so it's extremely durable, toughened rubber as well. So once that's in place, the more pressure somebody exerts from the outside of the door, the more resistance it's going to offer.
So this is down the bottom, and all you do is you kind of push your foot on it, lock it into position, and that's it, done.
That's exactly it. And then the door will remain firmly in that position until it's disengaged. To disengage, all you would do is push from the inside of the door, and it goes back into place.
So who's going to use this, do you think?
Well, it can be used by the young and old alike. It's very simple to use, with a very small amount of pressure required. And what actually happens is, the great thing about it is that as the door gets pushed, it actually draws the stop point's rubber edge underneath the door for you. So in actual fact, if anybody was forcing from the outside, they'd actually be doing the work for you of engaging the unit.
So can you kind of lock the door into position when it's slightly ajar, or when it's fully, you know, does it have to be in one position?
That's exactly right. One of the other uses of the stop point is a very effective door wedge. Like today, very hot. It means if you wanted a breeze to be coming through the house, you'd be able to wedge the door in a certain position and then be confident that if you've got animals who might escape, children running around, or even the worst case scenario, blowing door, catching fingers, you can be confident that that's not going to happen.
Now, this is 584732, and it's only £39.95. You do have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it on your door. And the good thing about this is it pretty much fits any door that you can screw it to.
That's right. It's a very simple installation, as we discussed, with the 4 screws. It even allows for a different height between the bottom of the door and the floor. So if it was flush at the bottom of the door, that'd be fine, but you can also have quite a distance.
Okay, so it's, and we're talking, what, 10 minutes installation sort of thing?
At the most. Very simple. All you'd need is a drill and a screwdriver, 4 screws with the plate, fix the stop point onto that plate, and it's finished and ready to use.
Now, I'm thinking a lot of people have chains on their door, and we've seen it. You know, you put the chain on and you open the door a little bit. I suppose somebody just needs to come in with some bolt shears, gone, and that's broken.
Yes.
But they don't even need bolt shears, do they?
Really, all you'd need to do is, because you have movement with a chain, once the door's pulled back slightly, any kind of force, and the likelihood is the chain is going to snap, or the very often weak fixings are going to give way. So really, if anybody feels they're under threat, or potentially could, which obviously, unfortunately, in this day and age, could be all of us, the stop point is an ideal product for them.
So front doors is a classic one, but it's not just front doors. I mean, quite often the back door doesn't have much of a locking system on it, and then there's office doors and all sorts of other things as well.
That's very true. We've actually installed a number of these internally because people feel they're in a shared house and they don't feel completely secure in their room. So even when the door's being opened, say with a flat within a building, people feel that they can open the door, have the stop point there, and they feel a lot safer and feel protected, that if somebody does try to force their way in, they're going to be a little bit safer.
Now, how much pressure will this put up with? I mean, there's a lot of big fellas out there, and they can really put their weight, and they're really trying to push that door in. Talk me through how it works and what that would put up with.
Well, certainly. I'm glad you asked, actually, because during the testing phase, we did have some rather large gentlemen that we brought in. And what we actually found on a particular front door is that when the stop point was engaged, a huge amount of force was exerted on the door. And what we actually found is the door frame itself started breaking away from the brickwork, holding it in situ, but the door remained closed inside the frame, and the stop point remained firmly wedged to the floor. So if somebody can exert more pressure than that, then I'd be surprised. Yeah, certainly.
Now, the thing with this is, of course, you can quickly move it from house to house, so you can take this with you, and it's about as universal as anything can be.
It really is. It's so simple to install, so simple to remove. You can take it from house to house, move it from one door to the other. Very, very, very easy to do, which is one of the great things about the stop point from all aspects, is that it is just so simple, but so effective.
Now, do you need much of a gap beneath the door for this to work? I mean, is there a minimum sort of clearance or anything like that?
The clearance can be as little as 1 to 2 millimetres. Now, with most doors, as there is a threshold, you're going to find there is a greater gap than that. But to date, with a number of installations we've done, we've found that it's universally been successful on all applications.
And does it matter whether you've got laminate floors, tile floors, carpeted floors?
Doesn't matter at all. Because of the way that the edge of the rubber is designed with the profile, it means that it will catch into any surface and prevent the door from opening, so it works across all types of floor covering.
Now, it's quite interesting the way you packaged it, because it comes in a beautiful box, and I first thought it's high-tech electronics, there's something really, you know, very, very high-tech in here. But I suppose it's one of these things, you don't buy somebody a lock as a present, but you could buy them this as a present, and they would be rather thrilled, because the peace of mind that that can offer somebody is huge. It
is. As soon as the product was launched, the first place that I installed that was actually on my grandpa's house, and he was over the moon, because he's 86 years old, he does feel vulnerable in the home on his own. It wasn't so long ago that some rather dubious characters cut some trees down for him and charged him through the roof, and it's just left him feeling a bit vulnerable in the home. So this was just an added product with the stop point that just made that he had a bit more peace of mind.
How does he find it? Because a lot of people find the chains a bit fiddly, and some of the bar things are even fiddly, and they keep getting in the way when you're shutting the door. How does he find this?
Well, he's actually had 6 hip replacements. It's been
really,
it's been a very long and arduous process for him. So he has a lot of pain in his leg, but he still said it's found it very easy, because the level he needs to lift his foot up to engage it is so small that he feels confident and comfortable doing it.
And do you need much pressure to engage that sort of tapered wedge that goes under?
Well, it's such a little amount of pressure because you're using the weight of your body, it means that even with my hand here, I can move it down very easily. But as soon as your foot's on that, it really does move down very easily. And as we said, if anybody was trying to force their way in, it would just wedge immediately under the bottom of the door, and then they wouldn't be able to get any further.
And I suppose if you're not quite sure about who's on the other side of the door, you have one foot in it as you're opening the door, and just the slightest pressure then stops the door.
Exactly, exactly. Very, very, very easy to use, and certainly the feedback that we've had from our customers has been that they're very, very happy.
Now, it's an interesting design. It's very sleek, it's very elegant, it doesn't look like a security product. Birkegarden. Birkegarden. It's an interesting company.
Yeah, basically it relates to something to do with a forest of trees in Denmark, which is near to where the company is based who manufactured it.
Yeah. But so it's Danish made?
That's correct. Scandinavian, which is usually a sign of good build quality, such with this, and all of the products which Birkegarden produce.
So just remind us again, what type of door will it work on, and who might need one of these?
This will work on a wood, a composite. We've even installed them on UPVC doors as well. All you have to make sure is that the style of the door will allow for the fixings. Now this unit here, you're looking at 75 millimetres across and 130 millimetres in length. Once on the door, it looks very discreet. You hardly really even notice it's there. But as long as you have that style there to work with, you'll be able to install it on the door.
And does it come with screws?
It comes with the screws. They're all in the box.
So all you really need is a drill and a screwdriver.
A drill and a screwdriver. It's a very simple DIY installation. And there you have the screws nicely tucked away in the box.
You've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you want to order this and attach it to your front door, see how easy is it to use, and then give us your feedback. You can go to qvcuk.com, but you can order it now by calling us on 0800 50 40 30. It's only £29.95. And I suppose your grandpa was the best sort of person to trial it out. He feels more secure now it's on.
He certainly does. I've got one on my front door, so do most of my friends. And although some of them probably don't need it as much as others, they all certainly feel very confident answering the door at any time.
Glenn, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Good?
I could have been a bit more enthusiastic.
Yeah. When you watch that back, you'll see that you